Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Trust everybody's doing well. Once again, welcome to our session, the product deep dive. So normally we have this every third Saturday of each month. There we get to meet our practitioner. He shares about their journey, and then they give us, the meat and potatoes, which is the product demo. We want to really see, right? They tell us about the product, fun stuff they've worked on, and then they give us a high level on that product. We ask our questions, and then they go ahead and share with us, and we include that in our tool set, while we continue to build on design within our ServiceNow ecosystem. Once again, welcome, Imad. Good to have you.
Yeah.
Just a heads up. We're still in the Delta window, or we're still in the Delta season. Let's let me turn this off. Yes, we're still in the Delta window or Delta season. So Delta is change. That's what Delta is, a difference, a change. So ServiceNow is having the Delta window for the Zurich release to keep your certifications current. What that means is you are able to take a self-paced, course online, an hour or a little over an hour. I think an hour, 30 minutes, 90 minutes. It's anywhere from a handful of questions, so 4 questions at the minimum, to 20 questions. So you would be writing, depending on how many certifications you've had, and you would have been in the ServiceNow ecosystem for 1 year or at the minimum. That way you would be able to write the Delta and pay a certificate maintenance program cost, which is $200 for you to do that. Other than that, if you've had your certificate for more than the set time, so for example, for less than a year, you still have to write the Delta, but it's free for you. You need to come up after a year within the ServiceNow space before you'll be charged or accessed that fee. So you would go in, it will say your certificate needs to be updated or needs to be kept current. Let's fix that. You click on the link, it will take you to the exams. First, you need to go ahead and take a look at the Delta exam study guide. There's a curated experience of the changes within the ServiceNow AI platform. That just means that the Zurich release, the summary of it, or summary of the changes that they are going to test you on, that you know about. Some of them will have all of it, some of them would not. So for example, if you can, it takes a few minutes, maybe about 45 minutes or depending on your pace, you can complete the study guide for that Delta exam, the study guide. So ideally, the study guide is curated, or it's actually a subset of the product summary. So you are supposed to also take a look at the product summary for the Zurich release, see the products that have been changed or updated. Remember, ServiceNow has 2 major releases each year, one in the spring, one in the fall. So these a lot of times will be combined, but Zurich is the latest release beginning of this year, before the April window for Delta to finish with a 90-day window, started in January 16th, 2026 to April 16, 2026. You would be able to go take that exam on the changes that have been introduced within the ServiceNow tool. Also, there is currently a challenge that gives you an opportunity to qualify for you to go to or attend Knowledge. It's supposed to be a lift-off challenge. It's supposed to be 3 weeks, 3 consecutive weeks. It started last Monday. Now it's going to run through. Next week there will be another drawing, and then the final week will be the first weekend, I believe, in March. But what the whole catch is to continue to learn. As you're already engaging with the ServiceNow tool, there are a few courses that would qualify you. It will include you to go there. There are terms and conditions that apply. There are terms and conditions that apply. You want to make sure that you read through. I think Nigeria and a few other nations are actually excluded, I believe, because of, I guess, the date, maybe the visa restriction or something, I believe, maybe. But I do know that they have some, restrictions there. Just as an FYI, a few nations have been, have that exclusion. So make sure you read through it. I'll put that in the chat, as we go. Also, the other one is you have till June 30th to go and get a free ServiceNow mainline certification, the Data Foundation. And if you're going to be working within the IT service space, or the IT workflows, you need to have it. So there are a few that CIS that you don't need the Data Foundation for, but for the most part, you need it because it's going to give you a full understanding of the CMDB and especially the modeling of the data, because most of the applications actually cut across. So for example, whether it's IT service, HR service, field service, customer service, strategic portfolio, you name the application. But all of these is about the data and especially the referential data or data about the products and how all of that ties within that platform. So the CMDB is at the heart of that. And CSDM is the framework for modeling that data or maturing that data is used, or the data speak, or the data decision or decision science, if you will. That's that. Also, we have the first Saturday of the month, a Q&A session where we get our product practitioners to come and share about their experience as well, and then answer our questions. So just a heads up, you are able to make sure you connect, at the very end, we'll share the recording also to make sure that everybody is following through. And then we'll share our practitioners' contacts as well. So get into LinkedIn, get to all your social channel, connect. It's very important. It's very important. The more you grow your network, the better. The more you grow your network, the better. We have Mark come in and share about the fun stuff that he has worked on, which is the source control, especially for how it's going to be, continue to expose us to all of the build tools within the ServiceNow space. So, Emma, glad to have you. Go ahead. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Nemeka. Good day, everyone. Good evening if you're in Nigeria, and good day. My name is Emmanuel. Sorry, let me just start sharing my screen. My name is Emmanuel Nwoye, and I am a backend engineer. And recently, I have gotten into ServiceNow. I'm also a Rise Up alumni as well. Just tell me if you can see my screen. You can see my screen, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I wanted to shift towards. Okay. So yeah, recently I got CAD certified as well. That means the certified application developer in ServiceNow. So today we are going to be looking at source control in ServiceNow, how to do your versioning, backup, and collaborate with other developers in ServiceNow using GitHub and the ServiceNow Studio.
Yeah.
So this is me.
You can go to presentation mode. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay, right. I thought this wasn't going to. Even as I'm like this, it's still showing, right?
Yeah, fine. You're good. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, this is me. I'm Emmanuel. I have 6+ years of experience. I'm a writer graduate. I'm also an active contributor in the Nigerian ServiceNow community. I've built several ERPs, CRMs, different websites and platforms and applications. And recently I've started building lots of cool stuff with ServiceNow as well. So understanding what source control is just basically a system that tracks and manages your changes in application files over time so that you'll be able to keep track of what is what and when what happened, basically. As you can see in simple terms, it saves your application, roll back when it breaks, collaborate safely. That collaboration basically is one of the most important things about source control. You've been able to collaborate with other people on a single project actively at the same time. And also in ServiceNow, the source of this includes your scripts, your business rules, your ACLs, every application file that is supposed to be in your update sets. In a way, it's going to be, pushed over to GitHub for the version control as well. So a few key difference about Git and GitHub. So Git is the actual system itself, yeah, the distributed version control system. That's what actually tracks all what you're doing. While GitHub is a platform for the Git repositories. You understand? So it's more like how would I put this? The Git is like the actual storage device, and then the GitHub is what you use to access that storage device, basically, in a way. That's how it works. The key benefits of source control in ServiceNow, as you can see, we have the backup and recovery, which is something that really needs to be taken seriously since we know our PDIs, they do expire and sometimes you might forget about it. So in order for you to not just lose all your work that you've been doing for a very long time, that you mistakenly did not know that it will soon expire and then it all goes away. You have to always, back up and recover your application files using GitHub. Then also we have the version tracking as well. You see what changed, how it changed, when it changed. This is more of relation to collaboration as well, as you can see on the third point there. Collaboration gives you the ability to, multiple developers that can work on one same application, manage your conflicts and everything. Then safe expiration. Now on this part, this is the more advanced features of GitHub, basically source control in general. You'll be able to create branches, test new features on those set branches, and when you see they do work, you can now merge to your main branch. You understand? That's how it works. We'll see how that works though as we move forward. The source control, the difference. Yeah, without source control, basically, we already talked about it. Your instance is going to expire and your work is going to be lost, basically. And with source control, you can store on GitHub, relink. You can always import the application back and just continue seamlessly as you go. Although, in some senses, if your application does have functionalities related to the global scope, whereby, let's say, you make some changes on the global scope that affects your application, you might have to redo those changes on your new instance you get. But there's a way we can go about it for you to include your data files in your update set so that you'll be able to also store that as well. So as you can see, this is critical for our normal PDS that we do have, long-term development. Even if it's a client project, you have to also put it on source control as well. And also hackathons as well. So linking ServiceNow to GitHub. Firstly, what we would need, we'll be needing a GitHub account and a ServiceNow account. And in order to get the full functionalities of what we have, so step one, we have to create, I don't know if we all do have a GitHub account set up already. If we do, then we can go ahead and follow up with me. But if you don't, it's still fine. You can create a free GitHub account and we'll be able to, you have to set up your 2FA actually because they don't like allow the developer settings to be available to others. You have to set that up. But either way, you get your GitHub account ready and you create a new repository. You can choose whatever name that is public or private. I think I'll just go with this step by step. Let me try to, let me share my whole screen so that I'll not be having to switch from one to the end. Let's see. Okay. It's up on your end, right? Okay, I think it's up and running. Okay, good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I can see. Let me put this over here. So, firstly, we'll create a GitHub repository. Now, when you do log into your profile on GitHub, you'll be saying something like this. You will just go to, let's go home. Let's create a new repository. So we'll call it, the thing is, whatever your app name is on the ServiceNow studio, the same thing that you can call your repository as well. So we'll just go with the generic name of testing source control. So testing source control is going to override that string. Sorry. I need to, let me do it this way. Testing source control. So we'll create a new repository. And we'll leave this here. Now on your ServiceNow Studio as well, you might have some other applications that are already built and you want to link them. That is fine. But for a new application, what we have to do is we'll create a new app. We'll give it the same name as well. Let's see. That's loading. So yeah, we'll name this testing source control as well. It's going to be a scoped application. Continue, just create default rows. Just view app details. No need to add something else. So yeah, this is how you create a new app on ServiceNow in the ServiceNow Studio. This is here without, the only thing that we have here now is just the security rules that have been added. Now, the tricky part is this now. We need to find a way to connect to ServiceNow via, like call it REST APIs for ServiceNow to be able to interact with GitHub. Now, in order to do that, we need to get what they call a fine grained token. Now on your GitHub, you will go to your settings. Sorry. You go to your settings, go down below, you will see developer settings over here. That's where we'll be getting. So instead of using your username and your password that you have, you'll be using an API key that is going to be used for the login, basically, so that ServiceNow will interact with GitHub. You would see under here, we see personal access tokens, and then we'll go on the fine grained tokens. So if we look at, I will later share the link to this file. I can, let me just, I think I have it somewhere. Let me just paste there and paste the link here. So you can access this, this PDF, basically. So after creating our repository, what else we are going to do? This next step is going to be to generate a GitHub API token, which is what we're going to now. GitHub settings, developer settings, fine grained tokens. That's where we are. So we would already have this. This is connected to my personal instance already. So we'll generate a new token. And since your 2FA is already enabled, they will have to ask you for this. So let me get my phone to get an authentication code. Sorry. Sorry, let me get an authentication code real quick to verify this. Yeah. So now what we're going to do is, so for the naming convention, as you can see, you can use the name of your instance. We all know that our PDIs, they start with dev, and then there's a random number that has been assigned to you before the .servicenow.com. So you could just as well just use this dev right here. You just click on that, you copy that, and use it for the name. So you know at the end of the day which tokens, in case you have issues with your tokens and someone has access to your account, you know which one you're going to, get rid of. So we'll do. I already have a token named that, so I will just put alt on this. Now, once you're done with that, you set an expiration. There has to be an expiration. If you don't put an expiration, then it's going to be long lived. So we could do maybe 30 days, 60 days, however it may be. Like for the last October 1st, when we did a class on this, we set the expiration to just 30 days because it was a 30 days duration for the month of October. You get. So you would do that, you select the repositories. So once you set an expiration date, on default is 30 days. You can just leave it at that. Now, what you need to do, you need to make sure it doesn't have access to all your repositories, because you might have some other clients or that are not ServiceNow related, whatever. So we'll need to select the repositories that we want this to have access to. And since we've already created our testing source control repository, you can see it over here. Select that. Now, the next part is for us to add permissions. For it to be able to read and write the application files from ServiceNow down to GitHub and the other way back, we need to set permissions for it as well. So we'll click on add permissions, we'll search for contents. You don't need to add all the permissions, just look for these contents. That's the only thing we need. As you can see, repository contents, commits, branches, and the rest. So it's not going to be read only. If you keep it to be read only, that means your ServiceNow is only going to be looking at the files on GitHub, but they can't actually make changes and then send to GitHub to update. So we are going to change that to read and write. And looking at all of this, we are good to go on this step. The next thing is just to generate a new token. So we'll click on generate token. There'll be a pop-up for this, and just click generate token again. And we've generated a token now. Now this token over here is what we are going to use to log in, to make a connection between ServiceNow and GitHub. We'll leave this here. We'll leave this page open for now. Let's go over to ServiceNow. Now, in order for us to be able to make this connection, there's what they call connection and aliases. ServiceNow. Just go to the Now platform, look at the search bar. On the navigation panel, you would see a search bar. You search for connections. As you can see, we have connections and credentials, basically. Well, let me search for credentials. Right. Okay. This is the full menu. We have connection and credentials, connections, credentials. So first of all, what we need now is a credential to be able to log in. Click on that. That is loading on step 2. Okay, yeah. On step 3, it's also written in the PDF as well. To create a credential in ServiceNow, go to all connection and credentials. So we are going to just create a basic authentication credentials for this. When you're on the credentials page, you click on new. Down below, you will see basic auth. You click on that and we'll give it a name. I will just give this GitHub access key test. The username is going to be your username. As for me, my username is my Eminem, EMMYNEM. Whatever your username is, that's what you're going to use. So we would paste that here, EMMYNEM. it's case insensitive. So even if you put it to be all caps or whatever, it's still going to go through. That's not an issue. Now for the password, instead of putting my actual password to my GitHub, it's going to be the fine grain token that we have already created, which is this. So we'll copy this and then paste it over here. And that's basically it. Just make sure this is active and that's done. We'll click on submit. Now we have a new, this is it over, okay, this is it over here. Basic auth Eminem, this is it that we just created. If you don't know which is which, basically you can just, if you know how to ServiceNow, we just personalize link and then get the timestamp so we know which one was uploaded today, and then we'll just order it by it. So you can click on this, and then yeah, so you can see it's 21:9:35. This is my instance time, not my actual time. So yeah, this is the one I'm going to use. Now that is done, we have finished up on linking it to ServiceNow, which is the step 3. We've done all of that. Now, step 4, we are going to be linking the application to the source control, basically. Now, we will go straight to our application that was already created, is already in a new tab over here in the ServiceNow Studio. Up over here, if you're using Zurich, if you're on Zurich, of which most people are, you will see the source control immediately over here. When it's not linked, you see this link to source control. But if you are not, and you are on Yokohama or Zenadu, someone earlier, you would have to go to Studio. Yeah. Search for Studio. You see the ServiceNow Studio over here. This is the older version of how ServiceNow goes with the application creation. You can application is still over here, testing source control. We'll click on that. And down here, you can still click on source control to link to source control. So if you're on Yokohama, if you're from Yokohama down, you have to do this. But if you're on Zurich, it's direct here over here for you. So for most people, they are already in Zurich, so we'll just go with Zurich, which is almost the same steps. We'll click on link to source control. The only thing that you need now is the URL of the repository, which is over here, as you can see. As far as you're on the repo, which is this, all you just have to do is click on the URL. You copy that and you paste it here. Now for the branch, most people, they go with the instance that was given to them already, while others, they use there's master, there is main, basically. Sorry about that. I had a call. There's master, there is main. Now for other developers, they already use master, some use main, whichever one you want to use. As far as you can remember and you know the main branch that you're working on, you can go ahead with any of them. So for this one, my in my GitHub, my main branch is main, basically. So I'll just leave it and update this to main, which is going to be the main branch. It's going to be my default branch. For the email, you can put your default email. I'll just put in my email over here. And not always click on this to use for all developers, because some might have the delegated developer permissions. So they don't, so it doesn't show your own email when someone else is committing. In case the person is committing something that is not nice, they don't come and hold you for whatever was going on over there. So yeah, you put in your email for that, and then the credentials. As you can see, the credentials that we already created, which is the access key test, which is over here, it's already listed. So that's what we're going to use. We'll click on that. And looking at this, it's all good. If you look at our step, it's the same thing over here. And that is it. All we have to do now is click to source control. And with a successful connection between ServiceNow and GitHub, it shows success. Now you have linked to source control. Now you can make changes. If you click over here now, you will no longer see click to link to source control. You will now see pull repository. You can create a branch. You can commit your changes. So let's add a new application file here. Okay, sorry. Let's first of all go to GitHub. If you go to GitHub, here is empty. But once it's been linked, you can see there's a main branch and we have files on GitHub already there, which you can see the commit was done just now. So let's do some changes and we'll see how it's sent to GitHub and back. On our application, we will create a new file. Let's just create an application menu. Let me see. Sorry. Where is my application menu? Okay, let me just search. Yeah, application menu. So we'll create a new application menu. Just give it a name, source control. And by the way, once you've created an app, it's already over here. Okay, you can see my scope is already on. Okay, my scope is on global. You can change the scope to, let's see, testing. Yeah, the testing source control scope is already there as well. And if you go to the all, let's see, testing. Since we don't have any application menu here, that it's not showing. Let me see. Yeah. So let me create a new application menu for this. Source control test. The permissions are already the ones that are already there. We can leave that out. With your development, you will know how to go about all of that. So let's submit that. Now, for each files that you do create on ServiceNow is being linked to an update set, as we all know. So it's basically your update set, the XML file that is being transferred to GitHub for changes. If you look into this folder, you see, yeah, you can see some change. Look at it, sysapp.xml. These are the things that contains your application files. So we've created a new application menu on this. If we go to source control, we can see now that we have changes that has not been committed. We can also pull from repositories. So let's commit these changes first of all. Okay, you can see by system administrator. This is so small. Sorry, let me. So we can see the application menu that we created. Blah, blah, by this, by that. We can select all. If you have other like files that are here and you don't want to commit all, then you can just select the ones you want. But for now, it's only one, so we'll just click on that. We'll continue. Now we have to put the commit comments. By commit comments, they are things like this initial state of application into. So it's something like this. So it explains what you did in your development at that point in time, basically. So for now, we'll just put it as some people have their naming conventions that they go with. Some use fits for features, some use updates for updates, some use fix for fixing bugs. But we can just go ahead and just do it with natural language and just say added application menu. And that's it. We click on commit files. This talks with GitHub, sends the files to it, and then it does actually get it back though. But when we do that, we can when we do have changes from other let's say as I did this whole scenario now myself, this is on my PDI. If someone else has access to this GitHub repo and they pull their own changes on that same branch, what we can do in order to get the latest updates is to click on pull from repository. As you can see, there are no stash file. We can just pull from repository and then it gets you the latest updates from that GitHub branch that you're on. You can see it's been refreshed and all of that. So if we go to GitHub now, we only have 3 commits. And if I do refresh this page, we will see the next commit that we did, which is we added application menu. You can see it's 4 commits over there. That's how it is. And with that, we can also create a new branch. So I still have time, right? I can go with creating a new branch.
Yeah, you're good. Okay,
cool. So when you have, like, let's say you already have like an MVP or a certain amount of work done, and there's something you want to test out, but you don't want to, break your code in any way possible. You can create a new branch with those already made files, and then add some more codes to it. So for that, we can just create a new branch over here, and we can call it let's see, what can we add that's simple? Let's say a table. We can call this branch name fit tables, create a new branch. And with ServiceNow, since we are already linked with the source control, ServiceNow creates a new branch on here. You would have to make sure that your branch is on the one that you're supposed to be on. Let me refresh that. Okay. You can also switch branches. When you do create a new one, you can say our main is here, the fit tables is there. Make sure you're on the right branch before you move forward. And if we go to GitHub as well, we have two branches, as you can see, fit tables is over here. So for this now, since we are in the fit tables branch, let's create a new file. This could be, we'll create a new table. We'll just get data like name and email. So yeah, create a blank table. New one. So we'll call this users. No, users already there. Okay, let's just call these machines. Yeah, machines. You can do the auto number. Let's just leave it at that. We have the default rules for that. So admin is going to have all. User is going to have this. Yeah. You're adding a new table. So this table is being added on the fit tables branch. This is where it's been added. So if we go to the main branch, we're not going to see anything like that over there at all. For changes, we can refresh this. We'll see we now have some commit changes on the table, so we can commit this. Yeah, we had some rows and this and that, machines, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we can just add all of those to that machines table. This is our commits comment. They will commit those files. Now, committing these files, they are going to go to the branch that we created, which is fit tables, instead of the main branch. Now, if we go to GitHub, you can see recent pushes on 1 second ago. This one has 4 on the main branch. If we go to the fit tables, the new table that we did add rather, is going to make it 5 over here, as we can see. Now, another thing that we will be looking at is merging tables. Now, let's say we've done our features that we needed on this and they are all working fine. We can now merge the fit tables branch to the main branch. You understand? Because right now, if we leave this fit tables branch and go towards the main branch, we won't see. Okay, I think I need to open my application file so you see it in action. Okay, complete. Yeah. So if we click on source control, you can see we only have these over here. But if I switch to the fit tables branch, we'll have more application files, because in there we added the merchants table and then it added some rows, this and this, blah, blah, blah. That's how it goes. So for the main one, there is nothing over there right now. Now, if I do refresh, you can see we have some other things here, roles, and then there's access roles and all of that. So in order to merge, the merging is being done on GitHub. So on GitHub, we can compare and pull and create a pull request. They call them PRs. So a pull request is like saying, okay, I've done some changes on this branch. Please look at it, and if it's they do have reviewers, people that review your code and see to make sure that it's all right before they will merge it to the main branch, which is sometimes either the main development branch or staging or production branch for the application. So for now, we'll just leave it at this, able to merge or create a pull request. And okay, we'll merge that as well. Let's just say I'm the reviewer and I've reviewed it and I'm merging it as well. That is done. Now on our code, we can see that on the main branch, we have 6 commits. It was 4 before. The 5th one is the actual commit that we put in, and the 6th one is the merge pull request that was added as a commit as well, making it 6. So now we'll go over to the main branch. If we switch from here and go to the main branch at first, we won't be able to see the changes that were made, like the merging that was already done. We won't be able to see that at first. If I refresh here, you will see that some things are still not there. But what we can do is we can pull from the repository to get the new changes. Or sometimes ServiceNow actually does it automatically as you're switching the branches. But let's pull from repository to see if they haven't already done that. Okay, no file updated. Okay, good. So on switching, it already does that to give you the latest details from the other branches. And as well, with our branches, once you're done with the branch, basically, you can just go to your GitHub and take that off. Since we've already merged it to the main branch, all the functionalities, they are still working. You can either take it off or you leave it, whichever one you want. It is not an issue. Let me see. Yeah, okay, it's off. So our main branch is there, still has the commits that is supposed to be there. If we go to this, we have to, okay, as you can see, it's still showing fit tables over there, but we can as well, let me see, pull from repository to get the latest changes, which includes the deletion of that other branch, the fit tables that we just took off. So as you can see, we are not allowed to even click on it because there's no other branch for you to be switching to in the first place. So that's how you can create a branch, add commits, change commits, delete a branch, and that's how the source control works with ServiceNow. It's as simple as this. There are other parts to it like stashes, tags, but we'll get into that, and I'll also show you some resources that you can use as well. So after linking, let's go back to this. Let me see. So yeah, after linking to your service now, as you can see, we've already done, we've committed some changes, we've compared this and that, like the branches that we have. We've pulled from there to get updates. We've created branches, we've merged. Okay, the only thing we didn't do was to resolve conflicts. Resolving of conflicts happens when I make a change on a particular file and another developer makes a change on that same file at the same time on that same version. Then we'll not have to resolve ourselves to see which one is ahead or which one is behind, and then try to find a way to like merge them. That's what they call resolving conflicts. So we'll resolve it before we'll be able to merge those branches together. That's how it works. So more about source control. ServiceNow already have a course of which I've in the PDF that I sent, there's a link to it there as well. If you click on this, you can go directly to the course. ServiceNow already has a course on source control that you could go through as well to learn more about it, how to do stashes, tags, how to also work more with branches and delegated development. About all of that is all there. For the source control, okay. Now for the overview, basically it's being used to manage your application files. We use GitHub inside the studio, track and manage our changes effectively. Now for this, it's not only developers that make use of GitHub or source control. Implementers and system administrators do also work with this because you have to keep up with your changes and be able to track your changes from your developers or your implementers that are there working on applications as well. So on the course, you'll learn how to create repositories, link an application, which is the things that we've already done now. But with this as well, you also learn how to make stashes. You'll be able to stash some changes on your PDI, keep them aside, work on other things, then you bring them back, that kind of situation. So yeah, for serious development, as you can see, it is not optional. Yeah, for you to not use source control, you need it to be safe, to collaborate, to scale. Source control is like very serious issue. If you don't have it with your applications, you can lose your files, you will not be able to collaborate effectively as well. So yeah, that is all we have for source control in ServiceNow, as you can see. If you do have any questions, do let me know. And yeah, thank
Thank you,
you very
man.
much.
I'm grateful for you sharing about source control. I don't see any questions in the chat. The only thing I wanted to ask is, or I wanted not necessarily ask, I wanted it to show because it's not everything that gets captured. Because changes is really what this is for, right? And the
Yeah.
changes are to application and its properties. So application files, if you will. Like if I was able to give us a
Okay.
simple one, we go do a menu item or things like that. But like we said, it's not everything that is tracked or captured in that update set. Some things have to be moved via the XML function. And actually, you can also, attach that to your build um, or to the request that you're working on. So, for example, you could attach it to maybe a story, for example, or you could attach it to maybe an enhancement, or depending on the ticket that you're working on. So, I was hoping that you could do one where you would actually manually include that like a data piece, because not the
Oh,
database is a good example where it doesn't really track. So maybe create like in that table, for example, the machines table. If you can just create some data, like submit one record or something like that. I think it had a
okay.
number or something
Okay.
like
To
that.
be able to
Yeah,
track
yeah.
the
Then you force it like
uh,
yeah, something like that's all. Then we can go.
yeah.
Good.
Okay, cool,
I
cool.
love it.
Let me
Do we
see.
have any other questions? But good stuff. I love it. Do you have a question? The whole thing about it is it's source control is in your toolkit. There's GitLab, there's GitLab, delegated development. So it's not just developers, but anybody that is designing or building within the platform, and even for your PDI, if you're trying not to lose things, you want to make sure you have it, so that way you're not kept in the dark. Um, you would be able to you'll be able to do your backups and what have you not, which will give you a great opportunity not to lose focus, so you pretty much continue from where you start. So it's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, hold on, I'm trying to get. That's you.
And many of these sandboxes, they're free, right? I think GitHub is Microsoft owned, I believe. GitLab, I can't remember the company that has that, but hey, go try it out. Even in some of those courses, they even have you the links to as well, for you to go, grab one of those source control, version control, that will enable you to actually connect
Yeah,
and
yeah.
work.
Aside from GitHub, you do have GitLab. I think organizations they work with GitLab directly. Most of them they work with GitLab instead. So that as well. Although the will I say the settings, it's a bit different from GitHub. So where I went to create my access token might not be the same place that you go to create yours on GitLab. But either way, you will still be able to create an access token that can interact with ServiceNow as well.
Yeah, I mean the interfaces would differ a little bit, but I mean if you go to the settings, maybe the preferences, developer. The major thing is if you kind of like look through, you should be able to find, and even a simple Google search. If you don't, because the tool itself should even have documentation, but even a simple Google search for how can I get to connect this, or how can I go to my developer preference to get it, a fine grained token, or to get a token to connect, it will show you. I remember uh, even the Google search, or Google, or Bing, or whichever search engine you're using, has AI infused there, so it will even summarize it for you really quickly. So you might not even worry. So hey, but good stuff.
Machines. Okay, I think I named it machines.
Yeah, machines. That's also
I've
machines.
been I've been trying to find my table.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. But if you go back to GitHub, you should.
I didn't link it to. I just
Oh, you
created
did.
that. Did not link it to an application menu, so it's
Oh, okay, okay,
lost.
okay.
It's lost in my
Yeah,
files.
but if you go to this the table thing, and then you can add that, you know what I mean? Go
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the
yeah. To go
table
directly
thing.
to the table. Oh, okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then go find it.
I've been looking for it over its existing definition.
Because there's a position, go to the table thing, and then you can find it. You get it.
Tables. Yeah, yeah, got it. Machines.
Yeah. So, but you'll stop sharing though, just in case.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Once you get it, so that you create the application file, and then you can, add it add it to your update set, and then that way you can move it at that, that way it comes easy.
Trying to see how I can get a new record.
Mm.
But mostly for some
Mm.
application files, well,
Mhm.
it's still through the studio you'll be able to determine what you want to send towards your what do they call it? Okay, I
In
think
your
it's only in
repository.
my yeah, yeah. Okay, I did not even put any fields on it.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. I think it was just you didn't put any field. I thought you did do the numbering or something.
No, it's
You
just the
know.
number that is there's no name
Right,
or
right, right.
anything.
Just also create even just the number. So open it
Yeah.
in the list view, or open it in the form view, just submit the thing. Something like that. Even if it's just number, it should show something, I believe. She said just get like a data thing, and then first data, or export data, then attach that, then get it to download it to your device. That way you see how they bring in data element. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah. Just open so show the form on this. Yeah, show form and then go away.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Okay, I think
create a new one, something like that. Yeah, submit it, or whatever update. Just create a new one there, and then that's all. Then that's all. That's all.
okay. I've
That's all.
created
Yeah, and then that one need there.
create
That's all.
let's get this. Um,
That's all. Mhm.
okay. Okay. Okay, I think it already tracks all my tables.
Yes,
Yeah.
those are there automatically.
Start this. That's it. Is already there. Okay, cool. So let me see, for some reason I have forgotten where I'm supposed to find that particular menu.
Okay.
The menu for adding machine the records to the advanced view. That's not.
If
Sorry,
you if
help
you
me
open,
out here. I
oh
think
no,
I
if
forgot
you
to there.
oh, not a problem. So if you do open the record that you the ones you put in the list. So if you go to the records in the
Oh,
list
okay.
there, you should find once you find it in the list and you click on it, then if you select it, you should be able to now decide on if you want to, maybe you want to export the two of them or not. And you bring, because
Oh,
they're not there, or you can highlight them and then go there to the right there and then see which actions that it does have there. In some cases it will give you, but if not, for the most part, you're just going to be able to export them as an XML, since they are data elements. Maybe add them to whatever component that you're working on, for the most part, because data pieces are not really captured in update sets, for the
yeah.
most part.
Most
So just
configuration
leave it at
files
that.
that you use, the
Yeah.
mostly configured because most times the data are a bit more larger than it's supposed to be.
Okay, yeah.
So
Yeah.
they don't really add that. But if you want to, there's a way you could go about it and export a certain record
Yeah,
to an
the
XML
XML.
file, whatever. But at the end of the day, you'll be able to get most of your configurations that you've already done on your get on your project basically. So we'll be looking at, let me see. I think there's a place I listed. Yeah, somewhere. Yeah, it's listed. Okay, yeah. So your
Mm,
scripts, your business rules, your flows, your
mhm.
ACLs, all the configurations about that will be added. Just that your data will not be added with it. If you want to, there's a way to go about it, but I can't seem to get that on that. But yeah, that's it for the ServiceNow Source Control. And if you want to learn more as well, you can as well go
Awesome.
to where is okay, down below we do
At the
have where
end,
the
yeah, the course.
so yeah,
Yes.
this is the course. You can go directly to the course as well. I think it's about 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours, 8 minutes for the
Okay.
course. So when you go through it, you'll be able to learn basically everything, including what we've already talked about now. You can
Right.
create manage stashes and create stacks, collaborate, and all of that. So this is a good course to look into as well if you going towards the developer or implementer route. Also, even as a system administrator as well, you need to know more about
Mm.
how to comment your code, how to push your files, how to version it and create your branches. So yeah,
Good
thank
job.
you everyone.
Thank you so much, Emma. Now, Fahid was asking what table did you extend from?
Okay,
Emma
no,
did
no,
not
no, no.
extend
I
it.
did not. I
Emma
did
did
not
not
extend
extend
it.
it.
I just wanted to create a
Yeah, just
random table, a new
right.
table. That's what I created. That's why you see there
Yeah,
was no field. It was just number
uh,
that was there. In
yeah.
when you're creating table, you don't have to. Although if you're in the real world and you're trying to develop on something, you would most likely extend from the tax table. Yeah, you most
So
likely extend from the tax table or any other parent or base table that are over there. But
right,
for this one, I didn't have to do that, or even maybe the user table basically. But I didn't need to do that since it was
right,
just
right, right.
because if I don't
For a lot
extend
of
it, I
times,
will have. yeah, I'll have lots of fields over there to like be able to insert records and stuff like that. So there was no need for that.
Right. So
Yeah,
it's
thank
table
you.
extension
Thank you.
saves you money. So for example, depending on what type of application or because there's a lot of benefits to you to doing that. So for example, you could extend like the tax table, which is the base class or base table in the system. Most tables there, ITSM with an incident problem change, extend that. So those fields are used across. So, but remember that there's a lot of even when you extend that, you inherit all of its, all every almost every aspect to it, whether security and all that, that will apply to you too. So like how Emma did it, he had full control. But the only things I remember creating a custom table is money too. So if you the reward, your companies are paying money. So but when you extend those things, it's taken as you're using what is there, you're just putting the fields you need, and then you're going ahead. So just be mindful there. So some cheat sheet. So if depending on what it is, if it's like configurations you need to track, then extend the CMDB table. So this kind of stuff, or CMDCI table, this kind of stuff. So depending on what table you're trying to do, and but how. If you take a look to give you those recommendations, those base table for you to you snag in and extend them, and then include your own fields. And that way it will help you. Most of the times, don't forget practice with that PDI. It's there, the personal instance. Go practice, sign up just like you will for GitHub, GitLab, whatever it is. Sign up. It's your sandbox so that you can try these things out. The only difference between your workplace and what we are doing like here or anywhere else is that you're being paid there in your office. But here it's practice it and make sure you break it. You can boot, clear the instance, get it back. There's so much things you can do, right? There's so much things you can do. There's a lot of plugins there that are available for you for free. What you have is a standard implementation, but you can also go ahead and deploy a lot of plugins or which is applications, right? Suites of applications, if you will, that you can try out. And then ServiceNow has provided the ServiceNow University, the playground. So go there, a lot of courses there. They come with labs, try out the thing. Like the AI, if you want to try out, there's almost every and any course because almost all through the platform there's a lot of AI capabilities. Try the thing out and then be ready. Because if you're ready, they definitely once the opportunity comes, you excel, especially in the workplace and interviews are coming and jobs are coming and AI is not going anywhere. AI is everywhere. It's not going everywhere.
Yes,
So just
also,
be mindful.
you also dropped a link in the beginning of the session about the lift of knowledge challenge as well. That has some um, courses that you need to go through. You can actually even earn a voucher for an exam. So we should also look into that. I think this is the link over
Yeah,
here.
the
This,
link is there. Just make sure you read the terms and conditions. But the idea is at least if you get in there, even if for nothing, there are a lot of cool prizes like swags and things too. So let's say you don't get the free trip to knowledge, you can always get you. I know there's some exclusions there, so make sure you read that terms and conditions. You can also invite your family and friends. So there's a lot of sharing and learning to go around. It's going to be for the next 3 weeks, I believe. This week is already going to end. This one it begins again on 20.
by
So
by
Monday
Monday.
again, another week will run again, and then the
Yeah.
upper week like that. So but try it out. Try it. Hey, there's a lot of opportunities to test out the latest and greatest that ServiceNow has on offer. Just make sure you do it, and then you'll be ready for your workplace for sure. And then don't forget, apply. If you practice all these things, go and apply for the jobs. The jobs are there. The only thing is that yes, there could be slow seasons, but right now the jobs are there, interviews are coming, the people need you. They are investing in ServiceNow. Many of them are renewing their subscriptions because ServiceNow almost every application with almost of their releases, even when they go to Australia, the new release coming in soon. Before you know it, that it's all subscription based fully. Some of those apps didn't used to be like that. Now they're all going to the store. It's all subscription. That they need money. These people are not playing. They need your money. Okay, proceed.
Yeah,
I'll ask
that's
them. Yeah. What's your
yeah.
career journey?
I haven't started working best in ServiceNow, but after the Rise Up program, I've had to collaborate with my peers and we worked on projects. I also know in your ServiceNow, if you're in the ServiceNow program, you would also like have a period during the ending of it where you have to like create projects and all of that. So in my own time, I was the project manager of my group and we created an application. It was called Charge SOS. It was an AI EV charging system sort of that we did to bring EV charging to locals wherever they are basically. So let's say for example your car gets the battery runs down at the middle of the road or wherever you are, and then you can just call for mobile charging through the ServiceNow portal. We created portals, we
Is it
basically
supposed to be a
utilized.
mobile one though? Is it mobile charging? Is it like
Yeah.
like
No, the mobile
virtual
charging
assistant
part,
style?
we didn't think about that one. It's
Okay.
more of
I'm just thinking.
intermediary service. Yeah. So it's like using our software to call those that have the mobile chargers to come over
Okay.
and then do it. So we put in the request
Okay.
and all of that. We utilize the ServiceNow portals. Normally there will be ACLs, the roles. We also did some ATFs on our forms. We did some ATFs. We did analytics as well for our stakeholders and the users on their end to like see their rate and how much they paid and things and all of that. So far it's been great. The thing is you just have to pay attention and try to get as much as you can with it. Practice more than any other person, basically. Always practice on your end and try to. I was always one step ahead of our class, so I knew most of what I was doing already. But either way, try to practice like Sandy Mika has already said as well. Try to practice as much as you can, because if you don't practice, you will not be able to understand how these things go from end to end. You understand? So, and once you're done, you will like try to find where you are most suited with and then focus on that. Right now, me, I'm focusing on doing lots of AI courses and trying to put my head around the AI control tower, orchestrator, and AI agents. That's where I'm looking at since the market is sort of going towards that way. Yeah, and although aside that, like I said, recently I got SCAD certified. I wrote my exams, passed, and I was certified as well. And the next thing on my mind, as Mr. Indika has already said, we need to look into getting the certification for the CIS data foundations.
Yes.
Everyone, we need to do that before that June 30th. Let's get that out of our scope. And Mr. Emeka, he did his own I think was it December or January, he got that or he did it and it was off. So I'm also actively working towards that because it's now a requirement for most of the other mainline certifications. So that's what we should be looking at as well. So for now, since we are still, looking for data foundation, CIS, not CIA. So yeah, even as we are looking for jobs and all of that, let's try to, get certified as much as we can so that we'll be able to, stand out to the employers and aside from getting certified, do more projects, basically. More projects as much as you can on your PDIs, like Mr. Nemika said as well.
Exactly. Good. I love it. So a lot of times, if you're waiting for the projects are the ones you're doing in your PDI. The projects are all those simulator. The only thing is that you're not being paid in all of them, right? If you're not in the rise up, but that's the projects you're doing because the thing is, those are user stories. Those tags there. Just make sure you know how to do it. So doing it in ServiceNow University shows that you get it with a check mark. That's because it gives you the steps to do. If you are failing it, it will give you an opportunity. I think now you have with that expert level at the beginning. Then if you need help, you can click. It will give you the links to show you what you did or missed. Right? You can do expert, then intermediate, and then I think associate or something like that. So go there, try it out. Go there. as much as you know, it's rewarding. Be the hardest worker in the room. I mean, those things will pay, just time and chance, but they will pay eventually. And then don't forget, there's a lot of free AI courses there. Some of them come with microsets. Go there. There's that executive one. If you're working for a partner organization, there are a lot of delivery accreditations, even if you're not. But there's a lot of free, even microsets. Even if you say after the data foundation one, you are waiting because of financial or whatever, go take up all of the microsets. There's agile, delivery and test also. Go there, it's free. It's some of them come with hands-on. Even the data foundation one, it gives you 2 microsets for you to even get that. You have the maintain CMDB, I've been managed CMDB and the other. So hey, let's go soak up the thing. There's virtual agent, there's the natural language conversation one, or predictive intelligence one. So much so UI builder. A lot. Go there and get all of them if they have. If it just means it's time, it does take time. So give yourself some break too. Give yourself some.
I actually even am on the AI essentials fundamentals already. Like I'm working on that as well. I think I'm like 70-something% done. So having all these AI courses is something that's going to be nice. Then also, okay, before I forget, there was I don't know if it's still going to be available, but the Creator Con that happened last year, yeah, there were some labs, AI labs that were there. Let me paste the link. Mr. Emeka did paste it once, and I saved it. So you
All
can
those courses,
look into them. Look at these labs over here that shows you how to create an AI agent, the AI orchestrator, how to go from top to bottom, the use cases, and how to manage the tools that your AI is going to use to solve a certain use case or a business problem. So that gives you hands-on experience on how to go about it, aside from just reading towards all your AI courses. So this is something that you should be looking into as well. You could just save this link, and whenever you have the chance, you go through it. It's cool stuff.
Cool stuff. Thank you, Emma. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your Saturday with us. We're glad. A couple of minutes, the video will be out. Emma's contact as well. Connect with him on LinkedIn. Hey, build the network. Continue to grow. That's the only reason why we're here. And then try to learn a new thing at least a day, right? But doesn't mean that you're definitely going to have time for your family, though. Have time for your faith, but make sure you learn one thing a day, no matter what it is. Especially and if you're in that ServiceNow, putting in that even if it's 1 hour, you put in that ServiceNow University, or you go to the learning and then do one of the learning plan or one of the learning courses. The only thing about learning is if you're doing the learned one, it just walks you through without any validation. But ServiceNow University has a lot of with every release, there's a lot of simulations. Go there, go practice this thing. Get ready. Because once you know it, know those tasks, any interview you ace it. There's no story. And then the other things, when you get to the job, you can do the work. The work is easy. It's research. It's just Google the thing, see what it says. Go to the document, see what it says, and do it in your PDI first. When you get to this company, use their email, create a PDI for yourself so that you'll be using that one too. Yes, it can be a headache because you might have a lot, but so that you're practicing the thing there, make sure it's working, then go and deploy it for them. That's implementation. That's it. Go and do the thing. That's all it is.
I can't wait.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you,
I know.
everyone.
I know definitely that the work itself is not even that hard compared to all other things. It's just for you to get in through the door. That's just the thing.
That's the key.
Once you get in, the work is not hard, honestly.
I mean, there could be complex stuff, but no, it's a team sport now. You're not doing it alone. Somebody else too. Now you look for other people other architects. There's a whole community that are waiting to back you, man. There are people that want to help. There are a lot of them. And once you say service on me, I'm jumping in. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.